several people approached me indeed with that feeling, asking like, oh, why would if indeed you would have the people that would be controlling things, and also Hollywood and the movies, why would they put in the movie that the good guys win and the bad guys lose? So that's like people walk away from that with that feeling, and several people approach me with that and like asking to explain that. So I think makes sense to explain that here, and also use the movie as a backdrop on which to explain the what always call the two timelines, and which really is what people refer to as a rapture of sorts. But so yes, the idea would be that um, the movie would be a post-apocalyptic scenario, what they would call like a post-Great Tribulation scenario, where what you're really seeing, what they're not giving you, is that they are there's another timeline in the whole thing. What they're giving you is the group of people that stay over on a virtually uninhabitable world, Earth, and then you have the other group that has been taken off planet, or I would put raptured up to a moon on Saturn that's called Titan. And then what you have over here is like a set of drones and a mainframe controlling these drones, and super soldier slash clones that are like in charge of these drones to keep them working. And so and then you have this group of Earthlings that have stayed back, that haven't been taken off planet, that are like fighting these drones. But so what they're not telling you is that so the first thing, the implicit part of it is, one, the whole population of Earth has been uploaded to has been taken off planet to Titan, and then you have this group has staying back. And so basically what they're telling you is that, so then this little group is then indeed fighting with a mainframe called TET, but which would just be like a forward operating location thingy for Titan, to make sure that they finish sucking the Earth dry of all its resources. So it's really not relevant what that this group of people would have eventually destroyed the mainframe that is like above the Earth, which is this dark pyramid. And what is being shown is that the operation has been successful to take people off planet to Titan. You see, and then the real what they're showing. So it's really a scenario that is very much in favor of what I call the false timeline, which would be the movement to rapture people off planet to a what's important is, I think, to point out that Titan is the way in mythology is referred to the fallen angels. So where these people have been taken to this Titan moon, would not be some planet really. It would be really a kind of an abduction, rapture to a lower frequency. And then you have a few people that stay back, which would have to remain on Earth and do the whole thing all over again, which would take hundreds of thousands of years because everything has been radiated, and all you have is radiation zones and destruction. And then there's even this little fastball where they show like a little piece of a little piece of beautiful nature where Tom Cruise goes to like spend some time, and they're like referring to that as as paradise, which is yet more deceptive because the paradise which would belong to the right timeline, which is totally not shown in this movie, that would not be on that radiated, destroy planet that has been made barren. That would be the real paradise, would be the real timeline where the other group goes to, which is going upward spiral and goes and is raptured to another level.
Yeah, so basically, what you're saying is they try to do as if there are two timelines, and that is the bad guys, which is the Tet is fighting these rebels, people that have so-called survived the apocalypse, and they live on this barren earth. And which is actually what you're saying is this whole scenario is part of one timeline where it has all been decided already, and that is that everybody has been abducted or moved over to another planet, another moon off Earth, and that there are just a few people left over to start all over again. Which is what just this is a timeline that they do as if they're presenting you with a choice. Well, the choice has been made. It has the decision has been made already to go in a certain direction, and they're just trying to convince everybody to go in that same trend of thought, which is apocalypto.
No, exactly. It's that's the whole thing. That it's they like I told this gentleman that approached me with this. He said he walked away confused because he was like thinking, why would the group that is which has become obvious now is creating a kind of a staged chaos in order to erect a kind of a global order, a uniform order, meaning a kind of a fake security piece, but which is not real. It's not what I call the real unos mundos. It's not a real unity and diversity. It's really a uniformity system where everybody has to obey one global
One government, one money, one religion.
right. So, but this group, then, so people would go like, yeah, okay, if there's such a group, why would they make a movie in which they let the good guys beat them? And that's the whole thing. It's absolutely not like that. What they're presenting is indeed the timeline that they are on, which is a timeline that is going towards a kind of apocalyptic event. And then, in order to get like people to, if you wish, subscribe to this movement towards a kind of a alien technology singularity kind of thing. And if you see the movie, if you see the video that just came out, Cyrus, this documentary on aliens, where they're saying that the basic bottom line of it is that what is really important is about the alien is the whole alien thing is the technology, and that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I even saw the the sentence or the slogan that said, not only the technology, which would so-called give us everything, but the technology to take us there,
Right.
meaning where they come from.
Yeah.
And then the Earth is obviously being made barren, and then obviously people are going to go like, we need to get off this planet. And you see that in a movie coming out now also of Will Smith called After Earth or something like that. And
Yeah.
so what we're into now, so we've seen that Hollywood has been, people call it predictive programming, but has been very much showing the agenda to the world. And meaning that you would see like movies, and then right after the movie, the real thing, the movie would like actually happen in real life. So what Hollywood is now showing is a kind of a post-apocalyptic scenario, and so one could almost say that we are like somewhat already quite into what the Bible would call the tribulation, the Great Tribulation, which would then so-called end in a apocalyptic situation where, like, you would have a great devastation. And yeah, so they're already projecting what is coming, what is after the so-called apocalypse, like a kind of a event which will make the earth virtually uninhabitable. And then, but here's the thing: what most people cannot understand is the whole point, the whole idea of how are people going to be, if you wish, taken off planet to some satellite on Mars or whatever. And this is what I really wanted to talk about today, because so what they're obviously what they're not portraying is that that they are only portraying one timeline, which would then be this timeline that goes into this apocalypse, and then you have a post-apocalyptic scenario, and then then virtually the whole population ends up somewhere else, like on a moon of Saturn, which carries the name of the fallen angels. And what I wanted to explain is that, so I think we do have enough science, enough quantum physics to explain the whole rapture event, because what they're really looking at, what they're really portraying here is what in biblical terms is called the rapture. And what we've been able to put together is that they're using, so the two timelines are actually very much following the very same script, but one is following it in a kind of a twisted, inverted way, and the other one is following the true script. And so the whole point becomes that what is, so yes, so the essence, we have enough physics, I feel now, to explain what is meant with the rapture, because the people that end up on Titan is actually the people that are raptured on the second timeline, which is what I call the downward spiral. And then you have the other timeline which they are not showing, but which is the timeline of the people that go on to be raptured to the next level upward. Okay, and this is what goes back to the stairway to heaven thing that I always talk about. So there's a stairway going up, but it also goes down. And then a point comes where these two timelines, these two timelines separate, which I call the bifurcation point. But so what is seemingly happening is that we are moving towards a kind of a rapture. In quantum physics, this would be called, we're going from the particle state to the wave state. But there's also a lower wave state where you will end up when you completely dissociate the opposites, which is the yin and the yang, which I always call the opposite, the female and the masculine energy, which is which when that is split, you get the particle state. So we are like, at this moment we're being kept in a particle state, which is a state of duality, which people refer to as the matrix. But we know that in the smallest part of energy, we do find the wave, which is what people refer to as quantum awareness, or Einstein referred to it as the ghost. It's the ghost effects, or
Spooky.
the spooky. Yeah, that level energy becomes spooky, and then he also refers to it as God doesn't play with dice and what have you. But that's the level of the quantum, which is a level where we talk about. Schrodinger talks about superposition, and you get a world there where the telepathic or the paranormal is the normal,